Zom 100, a show about zombies, but it goes really deeper than that. It isn't just about zombies, it's about love, relationships, family, and the time that we have that is limited on this earth. Zom 100 taught me to be a better person, and it overall really changed my opinion on the zombie genre, something that I didn't think could ever happen. I mean, how many zombie shows do you know that are life-changing? Not that many, unless it's High School of the Dead for plot, if you know what I mean. But Zom 100, the story about a boy named Akira who finally graduates college and gets into the job he's always wanted. But then he realizes that the job that he really wanted doesn't turn out to be what he's needed. It says he's stuck in his dead-end job, working almost 2 night shifts in a row, doesn't go home until the 3rd day. He's figuring out how did he get in this position, working, not living his life to how he's ever wanted, finding that his crush as sleeping with a supervisor. All hope looks lost for Akira until one day, as he goes to pay his bills for the landlord, he notices that the landlord is eating a human. Akira then realizes that it's a zombie. As he runs up to the top floor of his own apartment complex, he realizes something. He doesn't have to go back to work anymore. He's free. He can finally live the life that he's always wanted, the life of freedom. The colors are back in his eyes. He says, "I'm free!" After that, Akira sets off on an adventure to find new things that he was never able to enjoy while he was working at his job. Also, apologize to his parents. He wants to make sure that his parents know that he cares about them, that he's thankful for them sacrificing so he's able to make it in the big city. And this is how he sets off on his adventure. Then he remembers the girl that he likes might still be alive, so he rushes over to her house to make sure that if she's safe or not. As soon as he opens the door, he realizes that his boss is actually still with her, but it's too late. His boss is turned into a zombie. Without a second thought, Akira decides to try and get rid of his boss. He then decides to throw him over the balcony, and then he turns to his left to then realize that his crush has turned into a zombie. With a heavy heart and with that in mind, he decides to confess his feelings for her, and after that he runs out to go back to his apartment. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was very unique, honestly, for a first episode to see someone confess to zombies. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that done before in any anime before. I think it's something unique, it's different, and I really did enjoy how Akira's mind worked. To see the colors go from gray and black in a colorful environment, and to see how his life just is the colors of his eyes just come back. It's something that I don't see a lot of shows do. It doesn't show the emotion of main characters or even side characters for that fact. I mean, realistically, Akira could be any one of us. It could be you, it could be me, it could be anyone in that situation of not being able to be tied down or not being able to feel free. I feel like that's why Zom 100 is one of my shows, but I feel like that's one of my favorite shows of this season. We're going to be talking about episode 3, when Akira meets Kincho for the first time. Well, after some time. I really like this episode because of the way that Akira kind of apologizes, especially the way that he was acting, and when it was something that I found really unique. I mean, you know, he apologized to his friend, you know, at the end of the episode, around when Akira, he jumps, they have zombies chasing them. He jumps over the balcony to the other balcony, and then Kincho starts getting like worried and scared, and he's like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't do this. And then that's when Akira was like, what do you mean? He says, you know, I've always looked up to you, you know, I apologize for how I've acted towards you. And it really resonated with me, because as someone who went through something similar, I was like, wow, like, you know, it felt like a genuine relationship, more like relationships in those types of shows. So to see how Kincho was talking to Akira about how he regretted not leaving his job, how he regretted not talking to him, how he felt, it was something that I really enjoyed. And I also really liked it how Bug Films proceeded to do with the episode. If you ever go back in the episode, I'll show right here, they actually showed the sun going off of Kincho, but when Akira starts talking to him more and more and more, they put the sun right back on him. And I felt like that was a really nice touch of showing how Kincho, even though he had his doubts and his anxiety and how he felt like he couldn't become a comedian anymore, Akira pulled him back and said, you know what, you can still become these things if you just come with me. And it really showed their friendship in such a way that I really do appreciate Zom 100. Now, with that in mind, between the zombie sharks and the hot springs and meeting the British woman, no, not British, a German woman, I want to talk about episodes 10 through 13. Those episodes right there had me upset because of this guy right here. You see the smug face right here? I don't like him. He's just this loser who just hates the world out of spite because he wasn't chosen and no one really cared and no one really paid attention to him. And I remember watching this and I was just like, are you stupid? I was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, you're doing all of this because you're upset that no one wanted to pay attention, so now you want to lay ruin to everyone else. After Akira finally gets back to his family and he's able to finally see his dad and his mom, he then comes across this man right here. Here, enter Akira Arashi, a kid who had no goals and no dreams, who was just kind of allowing life to live by. He is a very unique character because he's just the scum of the earth. After the zombie apocalypse, he decides to, rain ruin on everybody. He doesn't have a really interesting job. He isn't interesting as a whole. Now, then he meets these other people, which I'm going to be completely honest, I don't remember any of those. We're going to name them Fodder 1, 2, 3, and we're going to stay like that. These people have just everything with their lives is just all so gloom and doom and how the world needs to pay for them having misfortune. And at first, I didn't really like his character. I was just like, why are you attacking these villagers? They've done nothing wrong. They housed you. It's been nothing but happiness and enjoyment until he brings out his own notebook. Something that I was like, whoa, this is really good. I was like, well, not good. I found it very unique because Akira had his own notebook for 100 things before he wanted to become a zombie, and Higurashi also has his own things that he wants to do before he becomes a zombie. But with the differences between Akira and Higurashi is that Akira wants it for the good of people. Higurashi wants it for the evil of people, which is something it shows a parallel, because if realistically, it wasn't until I watched this end of the show and I saw what happened to Higurashi that I really began to realize that Higurashi could become anybody. What happened is that after Higurashi, it showed that he had the ability to become this due to certain ways of his life, but I've also realized that even in my own personal life that I could become a Higurashi if I, didn't live the life that I did, and like a lot of people could also relate to that. I mean, he just didn't see the good in the world, and even with Akira having this terrible job and going through what he went through, in good relationship with his parents, he wanted himself to have freedom. He allowed to not let the bad take over him. I feel like that's an amazing reason for Zom 100 to be different. It's not expecting it to be this groundbreaking zombie show, but it's something that, I feel like a lot of people can relate to in more ways than one. Between having a terrible job, either having a really bad relationship with parents or even friends, or having fallouts. It's something that I feel like everyone can enjoy. And that's my reason for liking Zom 100. It's something that I will look back on for many years and possibly even rewatch this video. And tell me how you feel about Zom 100 in the comments below. I know I've been rambling on for quite some time, so if you did enjoy this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I promise there will be no other video taking this long. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys all next time.